Thursday. It's May 26, 2022. I'm watching the BS this morning. And in relative things at Unified Field Theorem, I know that I have a White House with what I can expect to be at the podium as of right now, although they've made some really horrific change-ups throughout my lifetime. In this area, being New York, in New England, they don't speak of the regime in charge. They don't give names. They don't give any information. They don't even really allow persons like myself to vote or to get involved. Now, I know that I turned 18 in 1996, which would have been the first legal election I should have been allowed into. But while I was able to register for a party, they did not allow me into some of the voting systems that I see other areas of the world enjoy, and other non-family members are partaking in. This morning, because of this shooting in the school, and I'm looking at wide theory of symbols of Obama breaks into the White House because he's not a family member. Something comes up with a Sandy Hook and a new town in Connecticut. Now it's Uvalde, which at the moment I don't have an acronym or an alternate language translation on, but it's in Texas. And it's in a Robb Elementary. As in robbing the nest kind of a thing. So this morning they put on words from London. I really feel like angered, but not in like a, more disappointed in people who knew that things were going on and should have taken better actions in my youth. So, and more disappointment at global scale of how this has turned out. So, 1996, first year I should have voted. I come as G under, a Gunder, who is insignificant in our area as well, other than by namesake and by genetic, being we're Rh negative. We do have an important position in like the astrological calendar. It's just in our everyday whereabouts not so significant. We're not treated in any significant way. So London comes on. Apparently they had a 1996 shooting in a elementary school, and Australia had one same time. And then their government came in and took all of their rifles and guns away. Right, well, this is interesting because I was supposed to have a very special marriage. And in 1996, there was some non-familial, non-London, non-Australian level human that came in and blocked me from learning about the U.S. And about anything that I needed, and that was the beginning of some quiet I don't know if it's a corporate takeover. I don't know what you call them. I call them piecemeal because they keep stealing pieces of the pie, not telling anybody, and then like moving that situation with the cups around. But there's like very specific timeline. Like 1996, I was able to register for a party in this supposed United States of America government in North America, but they did not allow me to take part in their following their political system. So that's confusing. They did not allow me to enter a U.S. life of service. That's confusing. They just gave me some stupid piece of paper and were like, good luck. And it's really ridiculous. So that's where America, and then you've got, so it's whatever. And then in New York area, they're upset about the guns and whatever. The same people who took the G under away from who she belongs with and to for greater area purpose. Now, the same people responsible who say that they're in like hip hop and whatever that have like toting guns in New York. Now all of a sudden it's just like, now the guns are too much. It's a little confusing. But there is a grander schematic of thought process in universal speak at unified field theorem.
In the wake of the Texas school shooting, it's unclear if lawmakers will do anything to tighten gun laws. That has not.
So the only thing I have to go off of, the only clue that I get in this area is this little piece this morning, which I have to piece my real world life frame of where they've hurt me, where they've cut me off, what they said, what they did, what they looked like, and then piece it together with other world events that now, to this morning, they're actually mentioning. Normally they don't mention anything about London or Australia. And so this is what their report looks like this morning.
Not been the case in other countries which have experienced mass shootings. Holly Williams is in London. Holly, good morning. How are people there reacting to what happened here?
Well, good morning, Michelle. Many people here in the UK feel a special bond with the US, and it's painful to see America.
It's interesting because I really have not felt that my entire life. I don't hold or harbor any resentment, but I really don't get that like warm, squishy feeling from London. Because if there was, why haven't they been here to protect New England when they have a royal army and a royal guard, and we're named after their whatever? They have their own situation. They have a sibling or a parental custodial right to overhear, supposedly, in a New England kind of a way. Why haven't they sent the correct reinforcements?
American children killed like this. But a lot of people I've spoken to here also say they're mystified, they're confused, because here and in other countries where there's been a massacre, the government brings in tougher gun control laws, and they cannot comprehend why that doesn't happen in the US. 16 young...
Just so we're clear, the other day they put on that Canada and China, in case like every world leader prior to my arrival fell asleep at the wheel, had some kind of global school they put together. I don't know who else might have been involved, but those are the two that they mentioned. And they, I guess, handpicked a few representatives. I have no idea because I wasn't allowed inside the process. But that's one area holding down what needed to be integrated in a system in a specific way. So that's going on. So I don't know if that's an interference with our lower 48 government system. but it's a clue of like, hello, wake up. But I will say also, a lot of imports come in here from the same global school system on the China side, the further side. Don't know why. That's where the labels are from. Now we're getting a big influx of people. It seems the technology is now somehow associated with that label or brand. And also, there's these emulsifying and toxins in the food, enzymes, so on and so forth, and they're laboratory generated. And then there's the atmospheric technology and advanced technology that changes intracranial pressure, and it changes the cellular pressure, and it changes the way that the cells are able to interact in an animated, like robotic way with the environment. So there's a lot of these. I mean, I'm experiencing them with between motor function decrease, and at times neurological like thought pattern. I have to sit down because the short-term memory is interfered with, and I have to write things down in a very logical way. So this way I don't lose my spot and I don't forget one of the key component steps in a task and itemized logic way that I've experienced or that I'm witnessing, because I don't want my children to be attacked or punished for something that they don't know what happened or who's upset somewhere else, just as I don't. But I don't want to see them attacked and harmed as I have throughout my entire life frame by people that should have been stopped and should have been interfered with, and we should have been taken to safety.
Children and their teacher have been shot dead by a gunman at a primary school near Stirling. In 1996, the United Kingdom was horrified by the murder of 5- and 6-year-old children by a lone shooter.
I just can't believe something like this is...
It was the deadliest mass shooting in British history. And after a grassroots campaign, the government here banned the private ownership of all handguns.
Good evening. All Australians tonight share the horror of the Port Arthur massacre.
In Australia, also in 1996, a lone gunman murdered 35 people.
Port Arthur, that have anything to do with Port Arthur in global schematic of one unified theorem. Just curious, because I got a Sandy Hook and I got other stuff going on here with Connect I Cut. And if you've got a Port Arthur problem with Port Arthur, perhaps around the same time frame, we can like suture up some, oh, could we get some help now? Like for real?
In response, the then Conservative Australian government banned nearly all semi-automatic rifles and shotguns and launched a program to buy back more than 600,000 weapons from those who already owned them.
The greatest civil right you have is to stay alive. Staying alive and being free from random attack is a far more precious civil right than owning a gun.
These are our most popular firearms.
In Australia in 2015,
handing over the guns to the government, that was a call to arms of a different election process, that they were compliant with their own, was it not? Because I do see other areas in the world where they are still uniform, still march, still have other things going on under a different process. And I just want to make sure that the elections and voting process of whatever is still itemized and docketed correctly.
we found the nation's tough gun control laws widely popular, even with this gun shop owner.
I mean, if you were in America, you'd probably sell a lot more guns and make a lot more money.
Yeah, I suppose sometimes it's not all about the money.
From Columbine to Sandy Hook and Parkland. School shootings have broken the hearts of Americans, but there's been no major change to gun ownership laws in the US.
We've got a gun lobby and a corporate gun lobby that has its tentacles so deeply into our political process.
Dr. Jonathan Metzl is a sociologist who told us he's witnessed the gun lobby pressure US politicians into withholding support for tougher laws.
The lesson of those other countries is really that people came together across the political divide.
But were those countries able to do that because they don't have powerful gun lobbies?
100% yes. Definitely yes.
One of the Parkland survivors called out Senator Marco Rubio for taking campaign money from the NRA.
Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
And even that didn't change anything.
People buy into my agenda, and I do support the Second Amendment.
But in New Zealand, another mass shooting in 2019, 51 people killed in 2 mosques, once again prompted legal change outside the US. A ban on military-style semi-automatic weapons and assault rifles. This week, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern explained how they did it.
Now, we have legitimate needs for guns in our country for things like pest control and to protect our biodiversity, but you don't need a military-style semi-automatic weapon to do that. And so we got rid of them.
Australia saw gun deaths plummet after its new laws came into effect. And here in the UK, there are so few guns on the streets that even the police don't generally carry firearms. And ladies, while in the US this year there's been more than 1 mass shooting a day on average, in other wealthy countries they are extremely rare.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Staggering.
Yeah. People. Thank you, Holly. People are looking at us going, "What is wrong with the United States of America?" You know.
Well, I would say biodiversity to start with is like our key factor of wasn't prepared for protecting ourselves, wasn't well informed or educated. That would be my number one. Where did things go wrong before I arrived? Yeah.
You know, we are 4% of the population, but 42% of mass shootings.
And,
Go ahead.
and so much is being said out there
Yes.
in social media. This one really caught my eye. Let's take a moment to honor the sacrifice of our brave school children who lay down their lives to protect our right to bear arms.
Yep.
People are fighting mad about what has taken place.
That's bullshit. Where are they fighting? I don't see fighting. I don't see anything. But again, that's the wrong messenger putting in the wrong message into the wrong arena, but it's all I have to go off of, and then I have to filter out what I know to be faction. I mean, I'm part of faction. That means that there are facts in my life that are crucial to life on this planet and how things have been running. So 1995, 1996 was the year where I needed guidance and mentoring the most at a pivotal moment, and I was denied access. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.